rolling out, kind of. So you want to narrate there, Miss Chronic, or
Sure.
tell people where we were and where we're
So
going?
we had a little technical difficulties. Who knows what happens, but we're going to keep on keeping it on. We've got Bridget Wood here. I'm so excited. She's getting everything set up for us. We're going to have some delicious smoothies made with fresh cannabis,
Raw cannabis.
raw cannabis,
Whole plant.
whole plant.
And you know,
Something totally different than what everybody says, I'm not doing it. Why not?
You should do it. And I do want to, I feel funny, I need to put it down here. But it's super important that people understand that you can eat a male plant as well.
What?
So a male plant is packed full of THCA just as well. You should eat it. Don't just cut them down and throw them away. Put it in your dinner.
Put it in your
No
dinner.
praying mantis to the male plants there.
Okay, so how can you hear me if I talk like this?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got that one and that one going. Turn that one towards you too, just the mic part.
Just the
There you
mic.
go. That'll help a little bit.
Okay. All right. So raw cannabis smoothie. A lot of the time, I would start out with ice, but I didn't travel with ice, obviously, and usually the fruit would be a little bit more frozen. So the texture is going to be different. A lot of times, whenever I do this, it can end up with a texture a lot like ice cream. So I just get frozen fruit, and people can choose whatever kind they want. For whatever
Flavor,
their
palate.
health issue is. Some people with diabetes or something can't have bananas or whatever. So apparently there are bananas in this mix. So I'm just gonna throw some frozen fruit in here, and throw few different kinds. And it's gonna be this is gonna be funky because it's not
Completely frozen.
it's not frozen. So
That's all right.
okay. We can use our imaginations,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do have some homegrown raw cannabis, and I just brought a little bit. Pretend we're in the dark.
Don't get mad.
Don't get mad, Dave. Okay, so first I'm gonna talk about this. So I'm gonna add some yogurt, because you really need a little fat to properly absorb all of this nutrition. And I also have almond milk with me, but I'm on the search for hemp milk. So
If you know where some hemp milk is or how to get a hold of it, let us know.
yeah, I believe that that's what we need to be doing. So in any case, I'm gonna spill this on your table.
That's okay.
Pour a little bit in here.
And then now you've got the hemp
I do.
powder
I have hemp powder with me.
that we were
now.
gifted this evening.
So great timing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a little bit in here. I don't know what it really tastes like.
How's it taste, Mr.
How's it?
Brenneman?
We're gonna find out.
Wow, look how green it is, huh?
So we're gonna put some in here. So, but I do like to put a protein powder in these a lot of time. So it's kind of smashed itself down, and I'm gonna kind of.
And so what exactly did you do before you put it in the bag?
It looks so sad. Because it's kind of it's not frozen like it was. So whenever I had this at home and we harvested, I took the leaves, and whenever I make these,
Hold that up for a second. Let's.
It's not pretty like it was earlier.
Mother Nature sometimes not.
It's covered in yogurt and hemp powder. So it is. It's the whole plant. It's the fan leaves. It's the sugar leaves. It's beautiful little nugs in there. And
So the plants they were harvested, they went into flower, they were dried, cured.
No.
No?
This
curing.
is
No
this is-
curing.
there's no drying or anything. This is harvesting, rinsing them off, and
Like
patting
basil
them
leaves.
dry with a paper towel lightly because you don't want to lose anything. You don't want to pat any of those crystals off. So you're very careful with this, and you put it right in the freezer and you keep it, and you don't. I mean, it would never look this sad, but it's traveled. It's
traveled from Tulsa to Oklahoma City. It's
actually
entitled.
from Bartlesville.
Oh, from Bartlesville.
Yeah. So in any case, it's super nutritious, and you don't want to miss out on any of it. So, no ice, strange texture, no frozen.
It's all good.
It is all good. It's still gonna be full of nutrition.
Oh wait, you moved.
Oh, I did.
We gotta
Can
get.
I-
We gotta
can I-
get. That's as far as I can get
My
us.
electricity.
That's as far as we can get our. That's as far as we can get our kitchen area here. You know, you're the first.
You're the first cook.
You're the first cooking illustration individual on our show, so you have set the precedence now.
I'm proud to be that person. I'm glad that it's such a comfortable thing, though. You guys are cool, so I appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna run this through, and it's the whole plant. I mean, it's the whole leaves, not big stalks or stems, but yeah, you don't want to do that. And I get a little spoiled. I really like that nuggy, yummy, tender, sugary, sparkly leaves. So when I go to straight fan leaves, it makes me a little sad sometimes, but it's all okay. It's not my kitchen counter. So as you see, that was not difficult.
And that's just a regular shredder.
That's a little ninja.
It's
Heard
a
little ninja.
So normally whenever it has a lot of ice, you know, it really does have a texture
Smooth.
like ice cream, and it's kind of ridiculous. So you can use like hemp protein powder. Sometimes they come with like a vanilla or a chocolate flavor. That also, you know, but yes, it's really pretty too.
It
So
is.
just imagine it in a more frozen texture. And
Does Mom like the smoothies? I said, does Mom like the smoothies?
Mom, do you like smoothies?
I love smoothies.
Mom loves smoothies.
She's like, you put me on the spot.
Okay, so I love the colors on these. Let me run it a little more. I just saw a big long stem.
One more good little.
One more good one. And if you get a stem in it, just pretend that you didn't. Okay.
It's called improvising.
Okay. Yep. We're just gonna call it good no matter what.
Dun dun dun.
Ugh. Here you go.
Thank you.
Miss Chronic.
I'm gonna get it in.
Yes.
I'm gonna do it right here.
Wait a second. Let me get that on camera. What are you doing? There you go.
That's pretty good.
So it's full of
Mhm.
all kinds of, you know, basically everything you need to sustain human life. That
Here, Larry, come over and get you some.
So you're telling us that when
the THCA, the raw cannabis, is so full of.
we're out in space and we're flying to different universes, this could actually be the paste that we're going to eat because it could sustain our lives for as long as we travel in space.
Yes, it is intended for space travel.
Mr.
That's
Brimman's got to come get some of this.
He's coming to. He's gonna try and eat it off a.
Spatula.
Here, eat it off a spatula. Here, I want to try a spatula bite too.
Here, you can share with me.
Here, I have a spatula bite.
Okay.
So it is a little bit different.
Oh,
because
she's
it's not
brought us.
super
Your mom
cold.
was smart. She went and got us some cups.
Thanks, Mom. It's a little yummier when it's frozen and cold,
Mhm.
but I think you get a pretty good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
It's totally palatable.
It is the.
I wish it was frozen because then you'd have the whole. It's as high as
Experience.
Did you get a stem over
It's
there?
like eating a good pizza. Sometimes you get a little bit of oregano in there. You get a little bit in your mouth. You don't worry about it.
Yeah, you know, I have gone out with the smoothie and drank it like on the way to the doctor or something, and gone in and like found out I had all of it in my teeth the whole time. It's okay.
If you ever eat cannabis food,
There's more here.
Oh, it's all for you.
Oh, it's all for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot and make you eat a warm smoothie.
That's all right. It's not too bad.
No, it's not bad. It's just better super cold.
Yep.
When you get to eat something like that that is full of so many, you know, vitamins and minerals and all of that kind of thing, and it's in a pleasant berry or mango form or whatever you want to add to it, and it's cold, you know, and you feel like you're kind of eating something naughty, but you're actually
Look, this is good for you.
feeding your endocannabinoid system,
Mm-hmm.
which is a master regulatory system that sits above your central nervous system, and it is resource driven and nutritionally fed. So you cannot support your endocannabinoid system through inhalation, and therefore you need to
eat it.
eat it.
Eat it. And it tastes like an old school brownie. That's really what the flavor that I got from
Do you
it.
taste the cannabis?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm marinated in cannabis, so I'm not sure that I taste it anymore.
Well, no, it's not it's a unique taste that is. I like the taste of cannabis, especially when it's that bud from rolling the joint that's stuck in my mouth. No, the to eat it
I do too.
is a good, like, you ever stick a bud between your teeth and gum like a little dip?
I do want to talk about that because you're supposed to feed your endocannabinoid system. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so you're supposed to feed your endocannabinoid system 4 times a day, all right, and
4 times a day.
4 times a day, and so you need to keep that system running, you know, because the whole goal is for your endocannabinoid system is to achieve homeostasis, which is that Goldilocks zone where all of your systems are humming along, you know, everything's running optimally.
What did you call it? The Goldilocks system?
The Goldilocks zone,
The Goldilocks zone. Where
homeostasis.
it's just right.
Everything's just perfect.
Gotcha.
I lost the point of what I was saying there.
Where it puts you into perfect homeostasis. We were talking about feed it 4 times a day.
Oh, okay. So you
the
were talking.
endocannabinoid.
You were talking
Yep.
about that. I call it chaw or whatever. So what I do, and I was talking to. I try to get access to people that are smarter than me. I don't know everything, and so when I was talking to one of these people that is a real endocannabinoid scientist, and I was like, well, what if we stuck a bud up in here and just walked around with it all day? And he was like, that's a really good idea. So I know that's not something that, you know, like, you don't sell it, and it's not, I don't know. In any case, it's a really good way to support your ECS. And here's my theory. Here's my thought. If you have, you know, a bud stuck up in your jawline, somebody like me, you know, I have a you know, an autoimmune disease, and it affects my bones, right? And so I have a degenerative bone issue, and I have a lot of problems with my teeth. My teeth are always moving around, and so my thought is if we do have it in our jawline, you know, you're putting the medicine, just like if people used suppositories or something, you put the medicine as close to the problem as possible. And so my thought and my hope is, with me doing that on a regular basis, that I'm stimulating some regeneration in my bone growth. Because I can tell you that since I have been using raw cannabis, you know, like with rheumatoid arthritis, everybody has synovial fluid in your joints. It's that fluid that's like, the grease or whatever
It's the
for
lube,
your
right,
joints.
right.
I need to turn so I can look at you
Yeah,
because
go
I feel
ahead.
weird that I have my back to you.
Flip this
There's
way.
a really weird block right where I'm sitting. So,
There you go.
so now I've done it again. I'm gonna lose what I'm talking about. That's the worst thing in the world. that I
You're
do.
hoping that by putting it in there, it's going to help your
Like a
bone.
tap, almost like a medical tap all the
so
time.
I do. I feel like it would stimulate bone growth. Oh, and so in my synovial fluid, I have sedimentation that accumulates in my joints. And so if you ever move something and you hear like crunching and that kind of a thing, it's called crepitus. And so that is what will keep my joints from moving and will slow them down and make them swell. Well, so now that I've really gotten serious with the raw cannabis, and I also take FICO anytime that I can, the sedimentation in my synovial fluid in my joints, it goes away. And see, I just went to Denver like 2 weeks ago, and I went and did like an intensive on edibles and got a safe serve certification and a bunch of stuff like that. So I traveled and I couldn't take raw cannabis with me. And then when I stayed home, when I got home, I decided to extend that a few more days. And within a few days of getting home, when I'd go down and up the stairs, my knees started getting super loud. And also, whenever I was talking, those plates at the back of your skull and in my jaw, sometimes when I talk, it's so loud, it's as loud as my talking in my head. That was starting back up. Now I'm back on FICO and raw cannabis for 5 days now, and it's all going away again. So that's bone regeneration that the THCA promotes, and I live it.
Yeah, that's when I eat my pound RSO, which was actually FICO. It was done with ethanol. It wasn't done with naphtha. So the correct term would be FICO. When I ate that, the doc was like, "I can't believe how fast your bones are healing. Like, it's unbelievable." Like and I'm like, "Oh, doc, I'm a clean liver," but not really. And so even with me not, I eat a lot of ice cream and that kind of stuff, and I'd really eat the ice cream because it would turbo affect the FICO about 2 hours afterwards, because I started eating 1,300 milligrams of FICO at once, and I was looping the universe. And so I figured I need to
I had a pretty big glob of FICO last night, and I swear I saw the Aurora Borealis while I was going to sleep.
Yes, because it becomes psychoactive at high levels like
did.
that. It becomes, you're tripping. And
I actually tripped last night.
Yeah.
No joke.
yeah,
But I feel pretty
Great,
good.
like,
Yeah, I feel
right,
good.
right.
And here's the thing, and I do want to say this because I know a lot of people follow me because I've gone from being very ill to having a much higher quality of life, and I do want to be honest and open and say that this does not control all of my pain. It's like putting my pain in a backpack and moving it over there. And so those last few days, while we had the big storm kind of building, and it's this time of year and everything, and so my pain was starting to get out of control. I'd been off my raw cannabis. I had been off FICO. I didn't have any FICO. I just didn't have it. And so then I got back onto the raw cannabis, and then just a few days ago, I got some really very clean, high-grade FICO, and in a large amount was able to take really big amounts. And it's made it arrested that situation where I was going into runaway pain. Because I am working on going off of my morphine, and so I'm taking less, and it's a difficult time of year with the barometric pressure and rheumatoid arthritis. So, I just want to be honest and make sure that people understand that this is not a complete solution. Everything's not perfect. I still live with really difficult issues and pain, but I'm working towards a resolution, and I have hope, and I think that's huge anyway.
That's huge.
And my quality of life is significantly improved. I actually have a life, which is something that I did not
Yeah,
have
you do. You and
before.
Mom came rocking in here. I was like, "Who are these party ladies?" And they came in and hanging out and having a good
Bringing
time.
in
and-
smoothies and
and
whatnot.
That's a real great point on, and I think most medical cannabis users will tell you that, oh no, it's not going to take away all your pain. It's not a masking agent like an opiate is, but it'll knock it down from a 10 to an 8. It'll knock it down to bearable.
And if you use multiple modalities, so if the cannabis is going to knock you down a few points, and then you figure out to, do some meditation and hold hands, touching another human. will
Squeeze harder right there. Just
help
kidding.
you. But that's the truth. And positive self-talk. And if you add multiple things together, then
The
then
package.
then you might take 3 points off or 4 points off your pain scale. And a few points off your pain scale make a difference between whether or not you're in a recliner under heating pads covered in compression gear, or if you went to see your kid do the thing,
Or you scale the side of a wall.
or you scale the side of a wall.
That's the
Rock climbing.
whole
Or you're doing
thing.
hoop dancing.
Hoop dancing, the whole 9 yards, just everything. And so the smoothies were great, Bridget. You'll come back and see us again real soon.
I would love to.
Because we love your knowledge and your experience out there. And if there's one person that can get something from watching,
Can I say
Yes,
something
please.
else about
Absolutely.
knowledge? Can I plug Dr. Nelson?
She's actually going to
Absolutely.
be coming on
Yeah.
our show soon.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I talked to her today.
Thank you.
Yeah, please tell us about a little bit about Regina Nelson. What?
Okay, so she has the ECS Therapy Center and has this clinician training, and I'm actually in training to be a trainer, so I follow her around everywhere and basically listen to everything she says and read her books constantly. She has multiple books out. She served as the medical advisor for the Oklahomans for Health Board, and so that's how I got to know her. And of course, she is somebody who instructed me on the endocannabinoid system, as well as Chip Paul. Of course, he was my first introduction to all of that. So this clinician certification. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm plugging it here.
Yeah, no, please,
So
please.
you take this class, and there's a level 1 and 2, and actually a level 3 came in, but it's continuing education for medical professionals, and level 2 is for veterinary professionals, because it teaches about the endocannabinoid system in animals as well.
And this is for actual I mean, me and Carrie, we're going to read the book and we're going to be like, yeah, okay, let's get out our chemistry set. But this is for actual doctors to educate.
It can, and for people, anybody in the cannabis industry, for patients as well. I mean, it really does explain the endocannabinoid system and the different cannabinoids. And it's really important to know, because when you're sick and you want to work on something, you need to know which cannabinoids you need to fix your problem, like THCV for type 2 diabetes, and
Right.
can put it in a position where it everybody wants to talk about THCV and weight loss, but I mean, like, if you could put your type 2 diabetes into a position where you didn't need any pharmaceuticals to control it, I think that would be more exciting.
It seems like they're big in Pennsylvania,
So
compassionate certification centers.
Dr. Nelson has these courses coming up next week on the 15th at the Bartlesville Community Center. And I think, what day is this? Is this Thursday? It's still early bird pricing and group discounts. And then there's one like 2 weeks after that. You can go to myECStherapycenter.org. She's going to kill me. So she does. She has the ECS Therapy Center, and you can find Dr. Regina Nelson on Facebook and find out the exact dates and everything for these certification classes. But they're very important, and you have a good idea on how to talk to the doctor, different delivery methods, the cannabinoids. I'm going to be doing some demonstrations. I'll make sure that everything's raw.
Lots of ice.
In Bartlesville, I'll bring ice.
There you
It's
go.
only like 5 minutes from my house, so
So it'll
not-
make it.
not going to be.
We'll be
a
right
thing.
back. I'm going to get some ice. Run back.
Ma,
in
go
there.
get us some ice at the house.
So and you know there's another an event coming up that is in development right now in Lawton, and it's going to be on July 6th, and I think it's the Comanche Event Center, and Eddie N. I'm going to just say N because I can't say his last name online. I will mess it up.
Okay.
So he has the dispensary, the med dispensary in Lawton. He's a really cool guy. So he's calling it a festival, and you know there's going to be a lot of information and demonstrations, and I'm going to be talking about THCA and cannabis as a nutraceutical, because I think you know the whole point of me coming on here is that people understand that if they see cannabis as a nutraceutical first, as a fulfillment of a nutritional requirement, that then it prevents the need of it for a medicine. Because if you protect your body against disease and degradation, you won't need that medicine, and you will live a happier life without, you know, developing some horrible disease and needing relief and needing cannabis as a medicine. Just go ahead and prevent that altogether.
That's what it's being proactive than reactive. That's really what the it can't get you if you're the woman is man of steel, whichever one that you happen to be. And that's great. We thank you so much for we're just tipping the iceberg here. You can, you know, like that's the thing about cannabis is something's new every day. You get different experiences. You might learn something new in the next week that you never knew about cannabis because there really hasn't been a lot of research on it. And like our earlier guest, Mark, you know, in the hempcrete world and all that's coming out
so
there.
cool.
And it is. We need to build a hempcrete.
It's
house
amazing
here in
that this
Oklahoma
plant,
City.
you know, it's food, it's shelter, it's fuel,
It's toilet paper.
it's all of these things. It's clothing, it's medicine, and once again, there should be no restrictions on.
And
our
they
interaction
stole
with
it
this
from
plant.
us.
They did.
They stole it, and we
They-
want it back, and we're
they
taking
did.
it back.
We are.
See,
and
they
our
don't realize
family
what they've
members.
done. Before we started all this, Miss Chronic, she didn't know nothing about it.
know
But now
nada.
that you've been empowered and you
Yeah.
understand, y'all better watch out because she's gonna.
I was like, we're going to write some bills now. I'm learning about it. Watch out now. We're going to be out here writing bills and making things
It's gonna
happen.
release all the-
Hey, when
the
you see
420
something that
prisoners.
somebody's taken away from everybody in the world, well,
Yeah.
in the United States, and then you see a baby stop seizing, and you see people who can turn their life upside down and just have a complete change in quality of life, whether I smoke it or was a participant or not, to see something that can change lives and kill cancer.
Have you ever held a child while they were seizing and been given the oil? Boy,
No.
that'll make you a believer.
I've held a child that had a seizure and had to just watch them do it, and because it wasn't available. One of my baby nephews that died at a very young age, and if these type of things would have been available, you know, at that time, and just think of everybody else that's died of cancer, died of all these different ailments, and if this wouldn't have been stolen from us and taken from us, I mean, everybody's going to die someday, but they didn't have to die like that.
Right.
Quality of life.
We didn't have to have so many people. You know, we did lose a lot of people along the fight. You know, a lot of people just didn't make it long enough, and then of course, you know, we had people that committed suicide because of
The
pain, and also, you know, there were people that committed suicide because their pain doctor dropped them or whatever for their cannabis use. And you know that happened. I had a neighbor. That was the first time I ever saw that. It was before I was diagnosed with my rheumatoid arthritis, and my neighbor, 2 houses down, his name, I'm not going to say his name in any case, and he had rheumatoid arthritis, and he would sit on his porch swing, and I'd talk to him sometimes. He was a very nice man. And they cut him off of his pain meds, and we came home from a gig one night, and they were rolling him out in a gurney, and he had committed suicide because he couldn't deal with the pain.
And that's the way it goes. That's what we're out here looking to change with heroes
can't have that. We
like
can't have
Bridget
that
and
anymore.
Carrie and Mark and just everybody. It's one of the beautiful things that the 420 Church gave me that I'll never forget is we talked about it one night, and it was I can't, but we can. And that's really where it's at, because none of us would be here if it was all individual efforts.
No,
Nothing happens. It takes an army
Oh, it does.
because we're
So many people gave everything they had for the fight.
right.
And that's just the truth. It was just an unbelievable, monumental effort of people from all different walks of life and thought processes.
Right, and Oklahoma is the catalyst. Washington State, like, you're all just tree hugging hippies up there anyway. Oregon, same thing, you're just. And then
Okies did it.
when the Okies did it, now did we all hear that the state of Alabama, Greenbow, Alabama, where we all know who's from Greenbow, Alabama, right?
Mm-mm.
What?
Nope.
Forrest Gump is from Greenbow, Alabama.
Come on now. What happened in Greenbow, Alabama?
Medical cannabis coming to Alabama,
Okay.
which
That's-
is like so.
Congratulations.
It is because of Oklahoma.
So I wonder if people from other states are watching at this point and gaining some hope, seeing that we've done it and that people
Iowa,
are getting
Kansas,
better.
right?
Texas,
Missouri went.
Texas
They're-
just had something finally.
Texas is going to go. Well, it's got to get through the Senate now.
yeah,
We
well, they've
passed
got
the
one
House,
part further.
but then they got to go to the Senate, and then if that goes,
Well, you know what? My shirt says it all.
that's it. I am 788.
Oklahoma strong.
That's right.
Okies are can-do people.
Yeah.
We
Okies
can
are
do
beasts.
anything.
They
And-
are.
Hey man, when you
I got
came
us.
from a state like ours, as long as we've been the last of everything. We're ready to be number one for a change. We're ready to make it happen. We don't want to be number one in incarceration. We want to be number
No,
one
we
in
need to get those
leading.
people out of jail.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
want to
and
be
not
leading
number
it.
one on Guy Fieri's number one dinners, drives, and diamonds, right? That's
No.
that is like not really something.
Well, maybe whenever we have
Well, if I'm
cannabis in
hungry.
restaurants,
If I'm hungry,
he
I
can
might
come.
go for
He
it.
can come check that out.
The
Yeah.
first restaurant that has a Bridget Wood smoothie, I am getting
Then
a table at.
I have half of a cookbook written for cannabis in your food, infused meals, raw cannabis.
raw cannabis.
It's coming. It's really happening. I've been cooking like this for an unidentified amount of time.
Has there been
researching
any
and
freeze
learning.
drying? Can
Any
you?
freeze drying? No, but okay, can I tell you like the easiest way to put buds in something super simple and
Yes,
yummy?
please.
Okay, so buds, are really yummy and tasty and peppery and terpy and so it's really great if you use it on like butter and egg noodles and Parmesan cheese. It's like the simplest way to have. I'm just not kidding. It's
The oil
really
doesn't
good.
emulsify.
And you
get
know what else
jacked?
you do is you do use infused olive oil in that, but with a little, with some raw cannabis bud chopped up in your egg noodles and butter. It's better than like basil or oregano or anything. It's so good. I like strawberry blonde the best, and Gorilla Glue is also really, really good in food.
Okay, so there you go. The strawberry blonde.
It's
Gorilla
really,
Glue?
really good.
There you go. Because that's really what it is you've got so many different flavors, the terpenes. When everybody talks about terpenes, they're just talking about flavoring. So you've got all these different flavorings in there, and then the citrusy, the pepper, like you say, the smoothie had its own profile of what it tastes like. And I imagine that if it was different raw cannabis, it would have a different aroma, different flavor.
And they do. They
And they
really
do.
do. I can tell you, like, we decided not to even grow any more Burmese Kush because it was just so gross. It just wasn't good in food.
The garlic weed that they grow these days
I don't know
is
about
so
that.
nasty. Oh my gosh, it smells so bad.
That is one. See, you said weed, and I would normally say cannabis.
Yeah.
But if you said garlic weed, that's okay because I'm not interested in that. It does sound gross.
I try to avoid the word marijuana.
Well, marijuana isn't that? That
It's
was
a bad word.
That's
It's a bad
the
word.
illegal use, isn't it?
Right.
That's the illegal use.
The M word.
And cannabis is the medical use, and we have to be really careful about that. And that's super important that we are legitimizing cannabis use in Oklahoma, because we know the legislature's watching. And the thing is raw cannabis is non-euphoric, and it's basic, it's a fulfillment of the endocannabinoid system and nutritional requirement, and we're not kidding around because it's life or death, and so that's something that I feel is really important that we cover.
Pay attention to. So there you go. So where can we find you, Bridget, if we want to follow you around? And
I'm not really very good at that. So I'm
social
basically
media stuff, or?
I'm basically on social media, Bridget Wood, and I've got the beginning of a web channel, making cannabis infused foods, raw foods, and so that I have the beginning of that somewhere on YouTube. My husband set that up, and someday, people talk about, me figuring this out and creating my brand and all that, but I don't know how to do that. So here I am. Thank you. Thank you
You're on
so
the right
much.
track. You
Thank
got enough
so
going
much,
on.
because
You're
it's so, that's the thing, is this the most important thing, because I'm not here to sell a thing. I don't have a thing to sell you. I'm here to introduce a concept of cannabis as a nutraceutical, because it's extremely important to me, because people like my mom and everybody else, they need to be well, and I want your mom to be well. I want my mom to be well. I want your mom to be well, or anybody else that matters. So we need to eat raw cannabis in order to do that. And so that's my message, and it's just super important that I would tell everybody. Otherwise, I would be at home under a pile of cats, much more comfortable than sweating. Being nervous.
Well, thank you so much for bringing in the smoothies, letting us try the raw cannabis. I thought it was great. I thought
Thank you.
it's
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
thank you.
it's a half hour since we ate it. I have no psychoactive effects.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just high on the conversation, really. That's really so thank you so much.
Thank you.
We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thanks.
it.
It's really nice to meet you.
It's a
I've watched you
wonderful-
several
thank
times,
you
and
so much.
I love your voice.
And if
It's
you're
just
not
like-
on a
Thank you.
gig, we expect you to be at the Green Retreat.
Yes,
We-
absolutely.
You and your husband.
And it's Friday, Saturday,
And you don't have to
Sunday,
work. You can
so-
come hang out and have fun and
Friday,
actually
Saturday,
let your
Saturday.
hair down.
I don't, I'm so bad. I don't know how to go to a show and not be running lights or have a iPad making adjustments.
We'll find you something to
Say
do
that
there.
out
That's not a
loud and they'll
problem.
put you to
That's-
work.
that's
But we want you to
exactly
come and enjoy
I
it.
want to as well. I really do.
There you go. Miss
Have a little
Chronic, you
time.
have anything to say on the way out of here?
No, just I'm glad that we had you here, and I'm glad that I met you and that you were doing our 788 video. And
Thank you.
we got to cross paths because you're a wonderful, strong woman, and I always like to come across them.
Yeah, I like meeting motivated women who make things happen,
Yeah.
like yourself.
Yeah,
Bam.
women rock.
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah, no kidding.
So, thanks to our guest, Mark Brenneman from the first set, Bridget Wood from the second set.
Mom.
Mom,
we
thank
really
you,
love
Mom.
you. Thank you so much for allowing us
Can
to.
we make
bring
my
your
mom
daughter
come
in.
over here and
She's
no,
she's
she doesn't
She's
want-
like,
not
I'm
unless you
good.
want to walk home. That's
She did
that's,
drive me.
And Miss Chronic's always a pleasure seeing you at night. Here we go.
Bam.
And to anybody out there that's wondering, how these weeders going to stop and all, we're not going to stop. We're not going to.
So you might as well come get on the show.
We're not going to do any of that stuff. The state of Alabama, you finally came over to us. Who's next? Iowa, Kansas. Who's left out of there? Pretty much nobody.
Boy, if Kansas did, it'd make the drive to Colorado a lot easier.
That's my friend has a buddy. The best thing that you see about Kansas is the sign that says Sassnack. Right? We all know that one. Do you know that one?
I just did.
You got that one. So, so thanks to my mom and dad who made this all possible. Thanks for watching episode 10 of The Grinder. We really appreciate you. Larry Reed, the man on weed, for The Grinder. Peace.
Good night.
Stop
Thank you so much.
We're so goofy. All of us. That's why it's so fun.
Okay, that wasn't bad. I can do that.
It's easy. Yeah, so that goes.